This is the Muddy Boots Podcast, a podcast for those who have been or are stuck in the mud. Building a community of those who are with each other all the way. Well, hello and welcome to the Muddy Boots Podcast. I am your host, Matt.
And I am not.
Who are you?
I'm Roger Button.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you. It's good to be seen.
Yeah.
You changed your clothes.
Well, yeah.
I was beginning to wonder.
Yeah. It might not change for another month, though.
Okay.
I pretty much wear one shirt a month, at least according to this audience.
Yes. Yeah.
So, how are you?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'd say this month has been a heck of a year, wouldn't you?
I would.
Yeah.
I would. What month are we in?
I'm not sure.
2025?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, what do you call a deer with no eyes? A no-eye deer.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Kid told me that joke.
I hope someone out there got a laugh out of it.
I'm sure.
So, why has it been a heck of a year?
It's we've just had some turmoil and some change and whatnot. And matter of fact, we got a brand new CEO.
That's a big change. It's a big change.
It is a big change. She's really cool.
I got to meet Bess.
Oh, you did?
I did. She's great.
I agree.
And we invited her on the podcast, and so I think we're gonna get Bess on the podcast
That'd be really cool.
here soon, which would be fun.
Yeah.
Fun to talk to, get to know her, let our audience get to know her, since our audience is a lot of the Y.
Exactly.
And go from there. But yeah, seems like a really cool person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's comes from the Boys and Girls Club. She was in Bend, and now she's up here.
Nice.
Yeah.
But of course, with any change, I think probably comes a lot of
Fear and trepidation.
something like that.
Somewhere in
Confusion.
those realms.
What the heck's going on? How's this going to work?
Right.
Yeah.
How's this going to affect me?
Yeah. And then how does that work? What do you? Well, I'm sure you have a lot of people in your office
I do.
regarding this kind of stuff.
Yes.
Maybe not necessarily about the CEO change at the Y, although maybe.
Some.
But also just like in general, when there's a change. So what tends to be like people's response to you?
Well, we've said this before, and we've talked about it before, my life verse is Colossians 3, right? Set your mind on the things above, not the things of the earth. And what we do is our thought pattern tends to go down, right? It seldom goes up when something happens. A change happens, something goes on. We go down, this is going to be bad. I'm going to have anxiety, all of these things. Because what's the definition of anxiety?
Something bad's going to happen.
And I can't do
anything to control it.
I can't do anything about it. Right.
Yeah.
So you're just Thelma and Louising. You're going to go off the cliff. And so, you have all of that. And so when you have change and you get fear and trepidation, it's really the change itself is neutral, right? It's a neutral thing. It's kind of like, I'm a strength finders coach, right? And so we have these 34 strengths and everybody will tell you a strength that they're glad they don't have or have a hard time coming. And what I tell them is the strength itself is neutral. It's neither good nor bad.
Right.
But it's how you react to it or how it's presented to you that creates this.
Sure.
But the strength itself is neutral. Change itself is really kind of neutral, right?
Yeah, I mean,
in itself, it's neutral. It's just change.
Right.
But people fear and really resist change. And so even though having a new CEO and it happens to be this person who's amazing, is a great thing.
Right.
People are still anxious, and some are fearful.
Yeah. And is that just, it's because of the anxiety, right? It's because I have this proposed outcome in my mind, and that tends to be reality for me.
Mm-hmm. Right. We talk about tapes all the time. The voices in your head. What are they saying, right? And why are they saying it? And usually, most likely, they have nothing to do with the here and now.
Yeah.
And they have everything to do with family of origin issues, life experiences, things like that, that now you're telling a story. Your head's telling you a story that you're making up on your own about something that's going to happen because there's change, causes fear.
So mind reading can go into that. I think this person thinks this about me, and so because I think that it's true, and I should probably run for the hills.
Yeah, and it's a good thing. When I do mind reading, I fall asleep because it's kind of boring in here.
Yeah,
so
it's a little loud.
What?
In mine?
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks.
Yeah. So fear, running to the hills, coming up with things, scenarios that maybe won't happen, but because my past, this happened.
Right.
Most likely, this is going to happen again.
Exactly. It's a funny thing with all of this. You have your limbic, your reptilian brain, you have your cognitive frontal lobe. And your limbic has no language, right? Mm-hmm. It's the one that kept you safe when we weren't at the top of the food chain. Fight, flight, stand very still. It goes off feeling. And it still works today. And its whole job is to keep you safe. So if something happened in the past that negatively impacted you or hurt you in some way, it ends up stored right here. And anything that resembles it will cause this thing to actuate.
Yeah.
Right? I've counseled people where, that's why I have them journal and do one person we finally got down to, it was Old Spice aftershave. Triggered them.
Wow.
Because a person who was an abuser wore Old Spice when they were a very young child.
So they smell it and it automatically
and they don't
triggers
even,
a
it
response.
doesn't, yeah, but it doesn't even.
Yeah, they don't think,
No.
it's because of the Old Spice.
No, they don't even know why.
Right.
Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It is.
So how are you walking with people through that? What do you, what are some tactics that you use in that scenario?
Well, mostly I do a lot of listening. I do listening, and through the listening, I ask a lot of questions, and I try to determine where it's actually coming from,
Right.
and what is doing, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the big thing. There's not a lot you can do quickly with this.
Yeah.
Right? But you can, and it's really, what's cool is, like with Bess, her actions, when they match her words, are going to build that trust.
Right.
Right? So people can release that anxiety. And when you release that anxiety, you can actually do the job you were meant to do, and you're not doing it
Right. Yeah.
with your hands up. Right?
Right. And then, so let's say I'm in the situation, and I'm outside of working for the YMCA. So this CEO change doesn't necessarily make a huge difference to me in my job security. But I can imagine there's people thinking, how does this affect my job, right? Because that tends to be like, okay, if there's new management, then my job's in question, no matter what. Like, that just happens.
Yeah.
And I like, for me, if I was in that situation, just being fully, like, vulnerable, is if I had new management coming in, I would think that automatically, because I was laid off from my first job after 8 years with a new regime. Mm-hmm. I was let go of another job of 8 years because of a new regime. Mm-hmm. So automatically, if a new regime came in, I would think my job's in jeopardy. So how in the world do I combat that?
Right. Well, let's take a look at that.
Yeah.
You know, I come at things vastly different than that. But so you're taking past experiences with a regime change, and there is the possibility that they may not find value in you. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and I actually said this to Bess when we did our first one-on-one is, I know the position I hold.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times can be a position that a new CEO would come in and want to bring in their own troops, right? Their own lieutenants, their own majors, whatever, colonels, you know. I said, but I was talking to a donor. I was telling her this. I said, when she asked about the new CEO, I go, even if she doesn't find value in me, I'm happy she's here because she's the best thing we've got for this organization. She is going to move us forward. She is going to move the needle in a positive direction, everything else. Now, you were talking about having anxiety because you've been let go before.
Right.
You have to have enough confidence, is the word I really want to use, in yourself. Not arrogance, but confident.
Sure.
That you'll land on your feet. You're good at what you do. Say you were working for another media company.
Yeah.
Doing what you do here, and it wasn't yours, but you were working for somebody else.
Right.
And they decided, Matt, we're going to go a different direction.
Yeah.
I think you'd be recruited rather quickly.
Yeah. I'd
Right?
land on my feet for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing. I was at NATO in St. Louis a couple of weeks ago, the National YMCA Development Officers Conference. I got recruited there.
Yeah.
I'm here because I want to be here, not because I have to be. That's that whole enslavement thing, right?
Right.
You're in a cage. Why are you here? I have to be here. I've got nothing else. How many times you hear that from people? There's nobody else would hire me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Well, if that's actually true, you might want to take a look at yourself and say, why? And what do I need to change so that I can become...
So the actual tape if I'm hearing you right, and correct me if I'm wrong, the actual tape I'm competing with isn't what if I get let go?
No.
Because sure, that could happen. In fact, I could get let go at any point.
Yeah.
Regardless of a regime change, it could be just layoffs because funding's not there.
Right.
So on and so forth. So the question actually isn't, how's this going to affect me? The tape I'm dealing with is, am I worth it?
There you go. Am I worthy? Am I good enough?
Right.
Remember, why do we wear masks?
Right.
Remember, right? Because if I took the mask off, Matt, not only would you not like me, you'd despise me and hate me because I'm such a horrible person. That's the tape that plays in your head, right?
Yeah.
I can't work anywhere else because I'm not good at what I do. Those are the tapes. I'm not good enough. It all comes all the way back to family of origin. Remember these things all flow.
Yeah.
Unconditional love versus conditional love, right? Unconditional love is, Matt, I love you. Sometimes you may disappoint me, but no matter what happens, I will always love you.
Yeah.
Right? Conditional love. It's a math statement problem, right? It's an if-then statement. If you do this, then this will happen. If you clean your room, then I will love you.
Right.
If you don't bother mommy and daddy when they're having a discussion, we will love you. If you do good in school, we will love you. It goes down the list.
Yeah.
If then. And this is a whole thing people go through life with. They don't even realize they're doing this to themselves.
So it's a value. It's really it's a value statement. It's more about am I valuable? Like as a human being, as a person,
Am I worthy?
am I worthy?
So I was talking at the 25th anniversary, right? And I was talking about my little buddy Giovanni, right? Giovanni, he's a lot. He was a lot. I mean, he was a foster kid, about 8 years old, just a lot.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of adopted him. I made a junior chaplain badge that he wore, and he liked being the junior chaplain, and he would help with the summer lunch program. He'd help feed other kids and clean up. I mean, all he wanted to be was loved, and as long as you showed him a little bit of attention and love and positive stuff, man, he'd do anything for you, right?
Yeah.
And so time's going on, and he seems to be actually getting better and, feeling better. And he's sitting in a chair in my office, and across from my office is the Welcome Center where they sign people up. And we're just talking, telling jokes, having fun. He's kicking his feet, the normal kid stuff.
Kid stuff, yeah.
And all of a sudden he stops, he looks over, and he's not moving. And I go, "What's the matter, buddy?"
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "That's my sister. She just got adopted. That's her new family."
Mm.
And they were in signing up for a family membership.
Wow.
And he's watching. He opened the door and took off running, right? And I'm chasing him. Well, I'm not as fast as a 10-year-old.
Oh, really?
No. But I find him in the locker room.
Yeah.
Right? And he's just mad. And he's slamming the locker. And I run up and I just grab him and pick him up. And he's just kicking and punching and fighting. He breaks my glasses. And I just hold him and I just let him do it. Right?
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm telling him, "You are loved. You are worthy.
Right.
You are chosen."
Yeah.
Until he finally just stops, wraps his arms around my neck, and just cries into my, tears are, I can see. But that's the whole thing. People are afraid of being abandoned,
Right.
being told they're not good enough.
Yeah. For him, he didn't get picked.
He didn't get picked. He just wanted someone to choose him.
Right.
Yeah.
So then we bring that
forward.
Yeah.
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 See,
Okay. So now,
where does that put you?
how do we add value to ourselves? Right.
Yeah.
What's the right tapes in that situation to overcome?
Well, okay. You're the one that's got the tape that's
The tape that says
what?
Well, let's see. The tape that says I don't know that I still have this tape because I own my own company, but let's take me back. I'm going to take me back to when I got let go from GK. So my thought process then was, this is the best thing I can get. I'm not good enough to get something better than this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Not good enough.
I'm just not good enough. And where does that come from?
Probably family of origin. So I probably could take myself back to.
You can take all the way back to your mom and dad are divorced.
Right. It's my fault.
It's your fault. If I'd just been better, I wasn't good enough to keep the family together.
Right. Wasn't good enough for my dad to stick around.
I wasn't enough for him.
Right.
Yeah. Which is all lies.
Right.
You know that.
Now.
After
writing the letter and yelling at him in my closet.
Yeah. For those of you who don't, you can explain the closet. Tell them what
So my dad passed away in 2014.
Right.
And there were unresolved things between us, right? He had been absent from most of my childhood. Came into my life again as a teenager, through my 20s, was sort of absent though again. He very nomadic individual. He moved around a lot. Was really kind of dealing with his own demons, and I didn't know this at the time. I just internalized it. Well, we had a great couple of years towards the end. He developed pancreatic cancer, moved back to our area, and for the last 2 years of his life, we had a great relationship. After he passes away, I figure out that I've got a lot of unresolved daddy issues, that a lot of what we're talking about here,
Right.
Not feeling good enough, not
Right.
feeling worthy of his
Right,
love, all the things. And so I come to you and I say, Roger, I'm a mess, which is typically how people enter your office,
Yes.
which thank God you're there, and all the chaplains that the YMCA has to help people through situations like this.
Yes.
But, sorry, it's the wink, because I just plugged the chaplaincy program.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay.
So you say, okay, Matt, there's only one thing you can do. Your dad's not here anymore, but you still need to say this to him. So get yourself alone. We called it get yourself in a closet where no one can hear you, and tell him all the things that you need to tell him.
Right.
Unload all the things that are unresolved.
Yell, scream, whatever it takes, cry. Yeah.
Get it out. Get it all out.
Get it all out.
Which, you think that it's not, you think the person's not here, so I can never get this resolved.
Right.
But actually that showed me you can get it resolved, because it's about what's in my heart, not,
Right.
Forgiveness isn't about the other person.
Right.
Forgiveness is about you.
Right.
And so I did that and came to you, and that was in a lot of ways that. I mean, some things come back here and there, to process through. It's not like it's all now it's all great.
Right.
But for the most part, a lot of that stuff was resolved in that moment.
And that's good.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is you hit on something else. It's like when we talk about tapes, right? It's not like we erase them and you forget. We just change the response.
Right.
Right? We change the response. We realize that the tape is talking to our 8-year-old self that really can't fight back. Right?
Right.
Well, we change the response where no, you're working with old 45-year-old Matt now.
Right. Right.
Who's gonna fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
And tell you it's going to be okay.
and tell you
You're
it's
okay.
good. You are okay. Yeah. You are not there. You are here.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That was then. This is now.
yeah. So interestingly enough, we have to resolve the stuff. Is the point. And for some of us, we can resolve that with a parent that's alive or a step parent that's alive.
Sure.
For some of us, we can't or shouldn't because it's unsafe, right? But we have to resolve it in our own hearts in order to move forward.
Absolutely. And, the Clark Y is lucky.
I agree.
They have more. It's not just me. We have 14 other chaplains running around that can sit and listen to staff and volunteers and members about the concern of this, right? Of any of this. And so we can help them walk through their anxiety, their fear. It's just too bad we don't have more chaplains in other branches around and more Ys.
Yeah.
Because it's there too.
Right. Well, yeah, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And unless they give me a call,
right. Yeah.
I won't even know about it.
Yeah. And maybe that boils down to just a bit of a misunderstanding of what chaplaincy is.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot of that.
But yeah, you can't change everybody's mind. It's one person at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's important. We've said this before, but maybe someone like this is their first episode.
Yeah.
But like chaplaincy isn't about you. You and I have a Christian worldview because we're Christians.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a funny statement.
Well, listen to me. I'm going to continue the statement. Okay. But chaplaincy isn't necessarily us trying to convince somebody to have a Christian worldview.
Exactly.
And so I think that's the misunderstanding.
Exactly.
Is that chaplaincy is us trying to make somebody figure out that Christianity is the answer and that will help them.
Yeah. I'll go one step deeper. Everybody has a worldview.
Yes.
Every chaplain has a worldview.
Yes.
They may not be Christian, right?
Yeah.
But they have a worldview. Chaplaincy is not about converting to your worldview. whatever it is.
Exactly.
It's meeting people where they're at.
Yeah.
And helping them.
Yeah.
A muddy boot.
And that's the message that we're trying to get out.
Yes.
And so, just worth being said,
You know, you're absolutely right.
that I think if more people clung on and understood that that's the mission of chaplaincy, then perhaps it wouldn't be such a sticking point, and we could get because I think it could help a lot of people regardless of their worldview.
Oh, yeah, and we do help a lot of people
Exactly.
regardless of their worldview. And that's another thing. People, you know, it's kind of funny. As we watch like these different things going around the country, you know, I mean, oh my goodness, right? That's another thing that's causing anxiety.
Oh,
but the echo chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what a perfect example of the echo chamber is?
What's up?
Your news feed on your phone.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's gonna fill you with everything that they think you want.
Yeah, we don't. The algorithm.
The
is
algorithm to
vicious.
that is right. A YouTube channel. Where you go on YouTube, it's not. I mean, how to do brain surgery doesn't come up much on my YouTube because I don't look for it.
Yeah,
right?
it's feeding you what you want.
Yeah, it's an echo chamber, and you turn to come around and you get with your people, and your people agree with you, and so you go, this must be right.
Yeah.
You know, and so then without ever actually truly investigating it, you come up with an answer.
Right.
You know,
I've tried to even mess with the algorithm too. It figures you out, man.
It does. I know. You and me are so much alike.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let's do this over here for a while.
Just
right?
look up something that you completely disagree with,
but
but it'll wrap right back around to the stuff I agree with.
okay, so I don't do Facebook at all anymore. I think I got off in 2015.
Yeah.
Well, my wife Lori was using my phone to scroll through Facebook, and she was looking at fingernails.
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden, my feed in Facebook is nothing but fingernails and fingernail polish.
Yes.
And I'm like, I had to have a conversation. Don't do that.
Yeah. I noticed you don't have your fingernails painted yet. Is that coming?
Or at the moment.
Yeah. Is that coming?
Maybe. You never know.
You watch enough fingernail stuff, and you're
well,
gonna
I don't watch it anymore because
Oh, you took it off. Okay, you took it off.
Yeah.
Not interested. Not
No,
interested.
I just delete Facebook. Goodbye.
That's probably a lesson for all of us. We should all delete Facebook. Anyway,
Yes.
we digress.
We always do.
I thought that was a great conversation, so thanks for that. As always, we just want to let you know, right, that our audience, that we're here, we're with you.
all the way.
We want to. We've heard from some of you. We want to continue to hear from you. Topics you'd like us to talk about, things you'd like to hear from us, guests that you'd like to have on. Like we said, we're going to have Bess on here soon.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, when we talk about this topic, that's why the Y is really here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got a pool, and yeah, we got gyms, and yeah, we got way, but those are just tools. We're actually working with people.
Yeah.
And that's what gets us up in the morning, is how can we positively impact kids, families, and communities, right? How do we take a small little human, beautiful little human, turn them into a beautiful big human? How do we help families be stronger and better, and thus stronger and better communities?
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're here. You know?
Let's keep doing that.
Yeah.
So we love you guys.
Yep. We do.
As always, like, subscribe, share the content, make it hit the algorithm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And because if more people could see how to help themselves get out of the mud,
Right.
that's probably better than just watching a bunch of fingernail stuff.
I would think so. And, because everybody gets stuck in the mud sometimes. And honestly, your mask will tell you not to ask for help.
Yes, it will.
But if you just take off the mask, become a little bit vulnerable, you get somebody to help you, you can walk through that mud back to hard ground again pretty easy.
Yeah. Right on.
All right.
All right. Have a great week.
Have a great week.